well. I'm gonna stand up actually. It's comfortable to sit, but I'm gonna stand. So, our topic today is Route 66. I'm really happy that all of you are here. We have a really full crowd. All the girls are on this side, almost all the girls, and almost all the boys are on this side. So, I'm going to tell you today about Route 66. Has anybody heard of this road before? One? Okay, then you're in for a treat today. So this picture is one of, this is a picture of a typical scene on Route 66 today even. So we have this old but renovated car. We have the old gas station, and we would probably call this something like a little bit like kitsch. It's a little bit nostalgic about this time in American history when people would go on these long road trips. We have a little Route 66 flag in the top. I think I see some Coca-Cola signs in here. So things that make you think of the American West. I see this and I think, oh, that makes me think of home a little bit. So, Route 66 was a very long road that connected Chicago to Santa Monica, officially Santa Monica, but Santa Monica is outside of Los Angeles. And so it traveled this whole length. Last time I told you, or today too, I told you I'm from Oklahoma. Oklahoma's right in the middle. We're very proud because we have the longest part of Route 66 of any state. So this map, it's maybe not fully accurate to space and distance, but this is the longest piece. You can trust me. So yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 states and many roadside attractions. Okay, so we're going to have some little quizzes throughout this presentation. I'm going to have some little questions. You'll see the questions here. You'll see the hint. And let's see. So our first pop quiz, Route 66 is called the Mother Road. Why might it be called the Mother Road? I'm going to answer this one actually. The rest will be for you to answer. So this road was built actually about 100 years ago, and it was the first long distance highway that connected a major city like Chicago to Los Angeles. So that's why they called it the Mother Road. The first time this huge, long road existed. Yeah, so our hint, how many highways were in the US when it was created? There were maybe lots of little highways, lots of little highways, but not all highways were all paved. Maybe they were dirt, maybe they were gravel, or maybe just little pieces. So a really significant road, yeah? But what does it look like today? Oh, we have a whole web now, yeah? So, and then, we can see how Chicago to Los Angeles, there are now many paths to get there. It's not only Route 66, but part of the path of Route 66 is still there. See, Chicago to St. Louis, to here, up through Oklahoma, all the way here, through New Mexico, through Arizona, and then Los Angeles. So basically, they built better highways. This started after World War II. So after 1945, officially 1945, 1946, they said we need to have a better system for vehicles, better system for cars moving across the country. And then they built better highways, including the one that goes right next to Route 66. And then Route 66 was forgotten about. It became maybe, run down, not developed as well, maybe lost a little bit because the better highways were built. Yeah. Did anybody see the movie Cars?
Yeah. Actually, I will ask about it.
Okay. Yeah. So the premise of the movie Cars is exactly this. There are lots of references in Cars to the Mother Road, to Route 66, and that's what happened in the movie, right? They built the big highway, and then the small towns were forgotten. People were not driving through them anymore.
Wasn't that about 66?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that about...
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So this is why it's an interesting story of development. It's a story about nostalgia. It's a story about old ideas of America, the American West. Yeah. So our pop quiz. What pattern do you see in the modern highway system in these numbers? There's a little bit of a pattern. Can you see it?
Are they all even numbers?
Some of them are even.
They're all 29.
Some of them are even.
They are all more than 10. Oh, no,
Yes,
we have 5.
They're all more than 10. Okay, one pattern I'll show you. It's 10 down in the south, but it's higher numbers towards the top. Do you see that? Okay. Do you see any other patterns?
Speed limitation.
I don't think the speed limit. No, Texas, they drive very fast in Texas, and they have the lowest numbers, so that's not the pattern.
The number of fruits.
What?
The number of fruits.
Yeah, the
Also,
number.
when it comes to Washington, maybe it has higher number, big number.
Yeah, kind of. Okay, so we're increasing in numbers as we go north, right? So I-10 would be like Interstate 10, that's what we call it. I-10, these go up. I-40 drives through my city. Then we increase. And then what about when we move from west to east? Do you see a different pattern?
From 5 to 95.
Mm-hmm. The 5, that's the key.
5 means...
Mm-hmm. The 5 roads are the north-south
vertical,
roads,
yeah.
and the even numbers are the east-west roads.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. So in my city, it's Oklahoma City, I-40 goes through east to west, and I-35 goes north to south. So that's the pattern. It's like a grid. It's not a perfect grid. We see a lot of bendy lines, but it's a general grid. We like grids in planning cities in the U.S. Yeah. Okay. So we have a song that will show you a little bit about Route 66. This is a classic song. Many Americans know it. Every time I end up driving on Route 66, it happens a lot because the road goes through my city. I sing a little bit of the song. So let's listen.
If you ever plan to go west, travel my way, take the highway that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. It winds from Chicago to LA, more than 2,000 miles all the way. I get to kick on Route 66. Now you go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City, that's mighty pretty, you see. Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino. Want you get to this timely tip when you make that California trip. Get your kick on Route 66.
Very nice.
Amazing. They say old songs are all about love. Here, Route 66.
Exactly. Well,
Why is it called 66? Was it built?
you know, I don't know where it got the number 66. We have to find out.
Okay.
It just is. We just accepted that's what it's called. I should know that though. Well, did you notice the line in the song that he repeated a couple of times? He said, get your kicks on Route 66. Do you have any idea what he means by that? Kicks?
Yeah, you do like this.
Yeah. Yeah. So of course, to kick, you know, is to kick. It's like, you know, to hit with your foot. You know.
It rhymes with 66.
What?
Kicks.
It does
rhymes
rhyme.
with 66.
It does. Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
What else? So kicks can also be a slang word for shoes, but he doesn't mean go buy shoes on Route 66.
Maybe he means push the gas.
Maybe so, yeah. That's a really good guess. But what it actually means is that it's like have a good time. To get your kicks, it's like to have a good time. This is a bit of an old-fashioned phrase. Most Americans don't say this, but maybe, of course, in the context of this road, we know this phrase from the song. You know, so they use this to advertise the road. Get your kicks on Route 66. Yeah. So let's go to the next one. It's very important when we think about driving to compare the way we measure distances in the U.S. Forgot how to. Let's see. The way we measure distances in the U.S. Versus the way distances are measured everywhere else in the world. We do not use the metric system. In fact, I don't think any other place really uses the system that we do. But we use inches, feet, yards, and miles. You've probably learned this already. 1 inch, about 2.5 centimeters. Then 1 foot. It's not always the same length as your own foot. It's 12 inches. So we do a little bit of math. If a foot is 12 inches, how many centimeters is that?
12 and
Close.
9
46.
30.
around 30.
Yeah, 30
Around
30
30.
centimeters.
Around 30.
It's not exactly 30. I think it's a little bit, a tiny bit more, but basically 30. Yeah. So 30 centimeters is 1 foot. Then 1 yard, that's 3 feet. Maybe you've heard of, like in American football, they measure things by yards. So they'll say things like, the 50, 30, 20 yard, 3 feet. So 90
It's
centimeters.
almost a meter, right?
Almost a meter, yeah. And then 1 mile, which is 5,280 feet. So this is really important because, of course, and then 1 mile is about 1.6 kilometers. Yeah. So if you're driving, if you're driving on Route 66 with your car that you've brought from Uzbekistan, I say this because if you're driving an American car, the speedometer will be set to miles, but you need your car from Uzbekistan. So do not drive 100 kilometers per hour, or when your American speedometer says 100, you're used to driving 100, you will probably be in trouble in the US because of the difference. Yeah, 100 kilometers is 60 miles per hour. Yeah? Okay, so how long is Route 66 in kilometers if it is 2,400 miles?
About 4,000 kilometers.
Yes. This is a good day for the math students. Yeah, about 4,000 kilometers. So that would take a long time to drive. Maybe, a couple of weeks. Like people like to start in Chicago and drive, several hours a day on the old road, on the mother road, and then finish in Los Angeles. There we go. Okay, so here are some of the logos for each state. Your question is, how many states does Route 66 travel through?
7, you said that. 9?
Almost 8.
You said that
8.
7 or 8?
Well, look here.
I said 8. 9.
9.
9 states.
The hint says to read closely.
8.
Yeah, 8.
Because the first one is rude.
It was a bit of a trick question, I'm sorry. So Arizona, California, Illinois, Kansas, New Mexico, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Texas. Yeah. Okay. And then, here's our starting point. And when you see the old road, you'll see these signs that say historic route, and then this is in Illinois. But okay, so which city? Where does Route 66 begin? You guys remember?
Chicago?
Chicago, yeah. Chicago is also the largest city in Illinois. Yeah. This is a very famous Chicago landmark. It used to be called the Sears Tower, but it has a new name now. But many people know it as the Sears Tower. Yeah. Okay, so now we're in Chicago. Here's the famous Sears Tower, our logo, and we're driving, okay? And we've arrived at this landmark. What does it look like?
Arc
Yeah.
of McDonald's.
Yeah, it's not yellow though. Yeah, it's an arc. So the Gateway Arch is a national park, and it is in St. Louis, Missouri. And the idea of the Gateway Arch is that it was supposed to connect two parts of the United States, and I would like you to guess which two parts that would be.
South and so north and south.
It's not north and south. East and west. Yes. So, the fun thing about this place is that you go inside. I was here in March actually, and you go inside, you go underground, and then you take an elevator inside, and it goes, and then it takes you to the very top, and then there's a window where you can look out. It's very beautiful.
How big is this thing?
It's very tall. It's very tall. I don't know exactly how tall. I mean, maybe as tall as the TV tower here. Yeah, maybe a little taller. I don't know. You can see it from a long ways away. Yeah, and so it's right next to the Mississippi River too. So one side is east, the other side is west. It's the arch connecting east to west. Yeah.
What about the charge for entry?
I can't remember. Usually national parks. I can't remember, and I was just there in March. I can't remember if we paid for our ticket or not. I think we did, but you can go inside without a ticket. The part you have to pay for is to go on the ride to the top. But I'm of the opinion that if you travel all that ways to see a famous place, that you should just go to the top to remember, you know. Even I like to say, oh yes, and we were at the very top of it. So, yeah, usually national parks have a small fee, but sometimes they have free admission also. It just depends on the park. Yeah. Okay, so we're now in Oklahoma, and this landmark has a very special name. It's called the Blue Whale. Would anyone like to guess why it's called the Blue Whale?
Because it's blue whale.
Yeah. So, what is the world's largest mammal?
Blue whale.
Yeah, the whale. Specifically this blue whale. No, this is a pond, and these are slides, and there are more slides on the back. And you can walk up inside and then go out into the pond. You can jump off of this into the water. It's a funny place, you know.
Is that kind of lake?
Yeah, it's not very deep, but a lot of people like to swim in it, and yeah.
Does this blue whale has his own name?
No, it's just the blue whale. Yeah, the blue whale. Well, see, and this right here, it's like a fishing rod. Yeah. So the idea is, a fisherman was fishing, and then he caught a whale. Yeah, it's funny. Little teeth too.
Is it specifically built for fishing?
It was built just for fun, actually, as a swimming place. Yeah.
Have you been there?
I have been there, yes.
Yeah, that's great.
I've been there many times because it's in Oklahoma. Yeah, it's outside of Tulsa, so yeah. This animal does not usually live in Oklahoma either, except for this one. It doesn't live in Uzbekistan, but yeah. it's funny. Then this landmark is also in Oklahoma, and this place is called Pops. And before I tell you about it, I'd like you to answer our question for this picture. What is the other name in English for pop?
Soda.
Soda, yeah. There are other terms too. There's soda.
Lemonade.
That is a cultural and linguistic difference. I'll tell you about it. Yeah, it's not lemonade. Yeah, soda, pop, Coke. Yeah, sometimes we say Coke just for
Sparkling
any-
water.
Hmm?
Sparkling water.
What was that?
Sparkling water.
Yeah, sparkling water. Yeah, all the same. So, lemonade for us is not quite like the Russian concept of lemonade. It's very confusing for Americans, actually, who are learning Russian. You know, maybe we think, oh, we'll order lemonade. We will not. Yeah. Well, and then suddenly a soda arrives or a pop arrives, and I'm like, this isn't limonade, or this isn't our idea of limonade. So, for us, lemonade is a lemon, just like a very sweet lemon drink. It's not carbonated. Yeah. So that's the little difference. So at Pops, you can buy maybe 500 different types of soda pop, and they have them all lined up in the window. This is a nighttime picture, so it's a bit difficult to see, but in the window, they have all these bottles and the colors of all the sodas. You can see them all, and then the giant soda bottle in the front, and then this is a gas station.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, it's a gas station. So, and they have a diner. You can eat like American diner food. Yeah, this is actually really close to where I live in the U.S.
Is
So,
this the only one
I thought that.
in the country?
yes, it is.
It's kind of advertisement.
What?
Advertisement. It's kind of.
This is not, I didn't mean to be an advertisement, but if you're in Oklahoma, you should definitely go there. Yeah. Okay, well, let's go to the next one. This place is called Cadillac Ranch. Cadillacs, of course, are the very fancy cars. And they have put all the Cadillacs in the ground, and then people have graffitied them to be art, to be, mementos, I guess. This is a very funny place because it's in the town of Amarillo. Amarillo is in Texas, and it's not called, how to say it? Amarillo is the name of a color in Spanish.
Yellow?
Yellow, yeah, amarillo. It's not, actually in Spanish you don't pronounce it Amarillo,
No,
but
it sounds like yeah,
exactly.
amarillo.
Exactly, yeah. So, in Amarillo, Texas, Yellow, Texas, or Amarillo, you can find the Cadillac Ranch. So we're working our way west. Now, imagine that, you're driving this whole road, and there needs to be you can't drive 4,000 kilometers without sleeping. Nobody should do that. It's not possible. So one thing that this road is famous for is all the small motels where you can stop and spend the night. Hotels and motels are very similar. Generally, hotels are a bit nicer. Motels come from
Small.
from motor. I think it's from motor.
Motor hotel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's why we see motels under 66. What is a blue swallow? Does anyone know?
The name of motor?
Yep.
It's the name.
It's a
Yeah.
bird.
Yeah.
It's a bird.
It's a
Swallow
bird.
bird, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bird. This is in New Mexico. We see the famous sign, Tucumcari, that's the town this is located in. We see the famous, old cars that have been restored. They're everywhere on this road. We see all the signs. Yeah, all the neon. Very, very American scene, really. Very nostalgic type of scene. Okay, and then now we're in Arizona. Yeah. So this summer, actually, I went to this exact place because it was famous on Route 66, and I wanted to see it very badly. So this is actually a motel. You can spend the night in one of these. They have air conditioning, and they have these old cars parked in front. It's called the Wigwam Motel. And Wigwam, does anybody know, some of you got really excited when the picture came up. Does anyone know what these are
Yes.
in history or in Native American culture?
Yeah.
It's a town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Sounds.
Exactly. Sometimes they're called wigwams, sometimes they're called teepees, and this was particularly used by nomadic tribes in North America because the idea is it's these, rods, and you can put them up to have shelter, and then you can take them down and transport them. So, yeah, but these are made of concrete. They're not with like animal, animal hide. This is concrete. Yeah, so a famous landmark. What else do you know about Arizona? Arizona is probably one of the more famous American states, right?
Grand Canyon.
River.
Yeah, Grand Canyon? You said Grand Canyon. Okay. And yeah, Grand Canyon National Park. Anything else? Someone else said river, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Colorado River is what carved the Grand Canyon. Yeah. It's beautiful, right? It's, so many international tourists travel to the Grand Canyon. It's lovely.
These tents might be a reference to the motel from the Cars in the cartoon,
Yes,
because it's cones form.
exactly. Yeah, it is a reference. Except these came first. They're before the movie. But that's, yeah, in the movie when they're all living in the traffic cones, it's a reference to this. So this is not the only place. There were, I believe, this was once a chain of motels that existed, and so they had different locations in different towns along Route 66. This one and one other in California are the only ones that remain. But yeah, it's really interesting.
This place still available?
Yes.
Still exists?
Yeah. I was there in July, and I tried to spend the night there, but they were booked. It was 4th of July, so I think everybody was on a road trip. It's a very busy time, but yeah, it's an active business. You can spend the night there. Yeah, and if you can't, there are other places too, but yeah, because there aren't very many, maybe 10 of them in one location. So, yeah. Okay, and we have arrived in Santa Monica. This is the end of Route 66. Santa Monica, very close to Los Angeles. And I realize this final question is a little bit of a stretch. Historically, I don't think they're fully equivalent, but would anybody like to answer the final question?
The hints are so obvious.
Yeah, they are. So the question to end this presentation is Route 66 comparable to the Silk Road? And I think Route 66 is something that in the US, especially in the western part of the US, many people have these nostalgic associations of, these landmarks. Oh, have you been to this place? Oh, oh, we should go see the Wigwam Motel, or oh, we should go see, you know, the Blue Whale. They're places maybe that remind people of a simpler time, or you know, a simpler idea of, you know, driving and you know what it means to be on vacation and to see your own country. And yeah, for that purpose, Route 66 is a nice way to bring people together and brings a lot of international tourists, and is also just a nice story. So yeah, that is the end of our presentation. Thank you all so much. Do you have any questions about the road? Yes, you're first.